Amazing, Laura. So just for everyone's benefit, could you just give a really short introduction as to who you are and who you help?
Yes. Hello, I'm Laura. I wear a couple of hats, so it very much depends on the type of person I am helping. So for small business owners, solopreneurs, micro business owners, I am a business coach and consultant. So I'm very much about helping people to reach their business goals, remove friction, work on confidence as a business owner. And then for sort of startups and scale ups, I'm a fractional COO or CPO, depending again what it is that they need.
Amazing, amazing. And tell me before you signed up to work with me, I think which was last March. It's been
Mhm.
over a year now, right? Can you talk to me where your business was at that stage? Like, what were you struggling with? What was what did your business look like?
Yeah, so I'd been full time as a coach, and I was doing a lot of career coaching at that point in time and some of the business coaching. I'd been full time for about 8 months, maybe.
Hmm.
And I'd previously worked with a LinkedIn coach, and I felt like I'd cracked a bit of LinkedIn. I'd got really confident with like writing my content, posting. I was getting some inbound leads and stuff. But I realized that there was something missing and that there was like so much more to running a coaching business than just chucking a LinkedIn post out and hoping for the best. I didn't have any
Hmm.
systems in place. I didn't have any way to nurture any of my audience. I was a bit confused as to what to do when I really got people into my world. And I felt very lonely, very lonely, very isolated, didn't really have people to talk to. And when I did have an amazing win, I was like, oh my God, like, and then looking left and right, thinking I've got no one to really share this with. And then when I was
Hmm.
struggling and I was having those low momentum days and weeks, I didn't have anyone there to kind of cheer me on. So the business was doing okay. It was starting to like perform, but it was nowhere near where I could get it. Like I
Hmm.
knew that I could get it.
Hmm. Yeah, beautiful. And what made you kind of sign up? And do you remember any of the obstacles that you kind of were facing before signing up and that whole process?
Yeah, I think I'd already like invested heavily in the coach before. And so I was like, oh gosh, like do I want to do this again? Do I want to spend more money when I'm still like I'm probably like spending more money at this point than I've got money coming in. But I
Hmm.
went into my business knowing that I had a pot of reserve to help support with this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so my only reservation was around, is am I going to get like my return on investment out of this? And what made me join is because one of your existing members who was already inside the group was like, you need to do this, Laura. He's like, there is some awesome people in here who are getting awesome results from what it is that Joel's teaching.
Hmm.
And you need to be around this energy. And like that thing that the energy was the bit for me that I was like, okay, I'm so right. Bring me in.
Hmm.
Let's go. So you were running a sprint at the time. I think it was like the spring sprint. And yeah, I was like, okay, I want to put all of my eggs into this. I want to understand what your methodology is. What is my business currently missing that I can implement? And I was really attracted to the fact it was like, right, we are taking quick action.
Hmm.
Um, so I was ready to sort of hit the ground running with it.
Amazing. And what were the kind of results shifts you saw as a
As a
result of
result,
immediately joining? Yeah.
yeah. So my first month with you, I think I did 8K, 8.5K. When I was sort of averaging kind of like two, maybe two and a half, three,
Hmm.
up until that point. So I had a really big leap in my sales. Um and I just felt my confidence as well just went up. Like I just
Hmm.
felt like I was like, okay, this is a serious thing now. I've got a business. It's I've got processes, I've got systems, I've got structure.
Hmm.
Um, which again I think really helped with how I was then showing up.
Amazing. And what have been the kind of internal shifts that you've experienced apart from that confidence you mentioned?
Oh, so many. So many. So look, I am someone who has changed my business around so much in the last 2 years. And I'm a firm believer that you've just got to follow your nose. Like some people just land in something and they're like, this is it, this is what I love, and they
Hmm.
stick with it. Me, I'm someone who likes to figure it out because I'm a generalist. I can do lots of different things.
Hmm.
And every time I've made a shift, I've gone through that moment of like, no, I can't change. Like the sunk cost fallacy kicks in. I can't
Hmm.
change. I've been doing this. Everyone knows me as the career change girl now, so I can't do this. Then you kind of start creeping into that burnout feeling of like exhaustion. My energy just dipped. I was just really
Hmm.
resistant to so much stuff. And then I remember having a conversation with you, and I was like, Joe, I don't know what to do because I feel like I should stay here, but my heart's telling me I shouldn't. And I think you said to me, like, what's your heart saying? What's your head saying? And it got to last summer, and I think I was really like struggling. And you were like, just take a break. I would just take a break, like just take a moment for yourself to just think you're trying too hard. And I needed someone to call that out. And I really
Mm,
appreciated that. And so I gave myself that space. And that really helped me then go, you know what, actually what I want to do is really focusing on this particular client and solving this particular problem. And then that's where my business coaching, I went
mhm,
full in on that. So my confidence has increased every time I've done that. My ability to check myself as well, I think is really important. Like I've got more
mm,
self-awareness. Um, and yeah, I think those are probably the main things.
mhm. And since, I mean, since then you've kind of trebled that record amounts, right? Maybe even quadrupled it.
Yeah,
What have been some of the shifts that have led to that?
yes. So I think most coaches go through a phase where they have a bit of an identity crisis or they struggle to, oh, if I put this content out, is it a bit too edgy? Am I going to push people away? Are people going to judge me? And that's a real thing that most people that create any kind of content on the internet struggle with.
Mhm,
And in the last few months, I have been kind of working on what am I afraid of doing? Like, what's the thing that I want to do that I'm really afraid of doing and identifying what that fear is and removing it. And as a result, I've started to get a little bit more confident with just my content and actually really leaning into my zone of genius and what is it that I know I'm good at
mhm,
and not holding back and just being like, I'm going to post this because this is what I think. This is how I feel. I don't care if anyone likes it. I don't care if anyone disagrees with it. This is my opinion. This is my platform. And this is my audience.
mhm,
And since doing that, that's when I've seen a really big shift in my results because people are
mhm,
like, oh, wow, this person's actually got a voice and they're right. Like they've said what everyone's thinking, but it's too afraid to say. And I think that's
mhm,
something that I know I've always been quite good at doing. Um, so most recently, I just had like my most record month, which was basically 30,900 in sales, which still feels really crazy to kind of sit there and say that. But that came off the back of me listening to a podcast of someone who is very respected in the business world. And he said something on the podcast that I just fundamentally didn't agree with. He wasn't talking about his zone of genius, he was talking about mine. And I just literally, I was just walking and typing. I was like, wrote this LinkedIn post like, hey, this person's great at this, but don't listen to this advice. This is what they said. This is why this is wrong. And if I was going to be giving you advice on this, this is exactly how I would advise you.
mhm,
And then this individual has got a massive audience, he's quite well known. And he basically responded in the comments and was like, yeah, fair enough. Like you're probably the right person to answer this kind of question, not
mhm,
me. That then just brought a load more people to my profile, loads of my ideal clients connecting with me, and then two people instantly reaching out and being like, I like what you said, I like your approach, I want to work with you, come and help us. And so I've just landed like some more contracts, and I've also just managed to one of my existing business coaching and consulting clients has now agreed to take me on as her fractional COO for a startup, which I'm so excited about because a real mixture of like using stuff that my brain needs, but also my heart loves to
mm,
deliver as well.
mhm,
But to get that, I had to really focus on leveling up myself and what I believe that I'm capable of,
mhm,
and also helping her to see the bigger picture and the vision. And I know that's something that we always talk about inside the ECC. Like, how do you really help your clients to see what we see in them? How do
mhm,
you help them to level up their own vision and belief and what they're capable of? So yeah, just the last couple of months has just been a lot more bold in my actions, or I've been a lot more
mm,
bold in my actions. And I just don't think I could have done that a few months ago. So
mhm, mhm.
yeah, it's good.
Amazing. Love it. I love seeing it. And tell me, what have been like some of the most surprising insights that you've gone through inside of ECC? Does anything kind of come to mind?
I always love it when that's really bad. I always love it when I see someone put in a message and say that they're having a bad day. That's not what I mean. When someone says something like, oh, I'm struggling with this, or this situation has come up, or I'm feeling really low, or whatever it is, and then everybody just comes and rallies in and goes, yeah, we've been through that. Like I was
Mhm.
you literally 2 months ago. I mean, some of the members that have been inside the ETC at the same time as me, like they've been like, oh, I've just had a really like difficult month. And then I'm like, oh wow, okay, I thought that you were riding a high still from the month before, but actually you're now there. Okay. And it just makes everyone feel like, oh, I'm not alone. And I think
Mhm.
that's so important. And that's like the whole purpose of having a community, isn't it? Like you
Mhm.
don't, we're individual people having our individual businesses with our individual clients and way of working, but we feel like we're a community. And I think that's one of the most powerful things.
Mhm.
Um, it's like having coworkers that just work remotely from all over the world. So like
Mhm.
having that support. Um, well, so I think is one of the biggest sort of insights from the ECC. Um, it never ceases to amaze me how quickly people can take action when they get a bit of clarity.
Mhm.
It's all too easy to get yourself in a state where you think too much about something, it holds you back from taking action. And in this business, we don't have time for that. We need to test, we need to be a scientist, as you always say. Like you need to put something out there and see and actually get the feedback. Whereas most people, including myself, spend time thinking, oh, well, how might that land and what might that be? Well, you don't know, do you? So just go and
Mhm.
do it and see what happens,
Mhm.
and get the data. So yeah, that's another one.
Beautiful. And tell me, what would you say to someone who's thinking about joining?
Do it. Do it. Just if you're in a situation where you want to take your business seriously, I would ask you whether you have the time and the energy to waste throwing things at the wall to see if it sticks when you
Mhm.
could just get into a group where people know exactly what works and what doesn't work, then people are making it happen. So yeah, I think there's always a bit of a reservation. Like the first time I really invested in my coaching business, I was like, put money on a credit card. I was like, oh, it was horrible. But then it was the best decision I ever did. And the same with
Mhm.
you when I reinvested and I was like, right, I'm going down to this route. Every time I have invested, I have made those like quantum leaps or like jumps or whatever. I've
Mhm.
got the result that I was looking for. So yeah, if you're a nice person, you're a friendly person and you love coaching and you want to make a good with the world, then come join.
Epic. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just thank you. Thank you for your
Mhm.
support and for holding the space. I know it's a lot to go on your shoulders, but yeah, thank you. And
Amazing.
thank you for letting me be a part of it and also helping to coach.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Laura's now part of DCC and runs a Monday Clarity call just on
Yeah.
the back of seeing how quickly you took the system, the strategy, and how quickly you
Hmm.
made a success. So it's epic to have you on board as well.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much.